Hey everybody, it's the Dungeon Builder back again with another video. Let's go over 3 ways today that you can make your next character better for your game of D&D. Number 1, work with your DM. It sounds obvious, it sounds simple, but it is probably the most important. I know for me, as pretty much the forever DM of my group, this is super beneficial. Anytime my players come to me with character ideas, I love it. I love to hear about their ideas. I want to work them into the story, and I want to know everything they want to do with them. It just makes it so much more fun when they have characters that they bring to me that I can then work into the story, and then I can build elements of the world around them. It makes it awesome. I think one of the best D&D advices I've ever heard about character building came from the astounding Brennan Mulligan, who said this:
adventures and characters should be tailored to complement one another. Really, if you show up with your edgelord, two-handed, two-wielding weapons ranger, and I prepared an adventure for the Care Bears, we're going to have some cognitive dissonance here. There should have been some communication beforehand. So my hot take here is that character creation is a process that should be done hand in hand with the dungeon master and the player who's playing the character.
If I was entering into somebody's game, I would ask that dungeon master, what character can I bring that would fit the story or help the story that you're trying to tell? Not every time you're going to build a character based on what the DM needs, but you can work together to make a character that fits that game, that one shot, that campaign, that world that you're playing in. And it just makes everything more cohesive. I love it when my players bring characters to me and want to collaborate on their backstory, or they have things that they really want, so that way they can tell me and I can bring that up in the game, whether it's parents, siblings, a goal that character's after. It just makes it more fun for the DM and for the table if your character has those elements already worked in and they're already collaboration on them. To me, that is super beneficial. It makes your character way more interesting and way more fun to play because you know that the dungeon master is in on it with you. So don't be sneaky. Don't be trying to just hide all of your clever ideas from the dungeon master. Inform them, include them on the fun, so that way everybody can have a good time and so that you can play an amazing character. Number 2, the second thing I would say is, and I've heard this a lot throughout the D&D community, at least shared before, but I think it's really true. Build a character that is an adventurer. Obviously, the game is about adventuring and going on quests and slaying the dragon and delving into dungeons. So your character should want to do those things. They should be, in at least some way, interested in going on quests. Doesn't mean that they have to be the stereotypical, knight in shining armor going out to adventure, but they should have some level of desire to go on the quest. This is basically saying, don't build that homebody who's like,
well, I'm just a simple farmer, and I don't want to go on an adventure. You guys have to convince me to go.
Don't do that. It doesn't work out well unless you've already planned this with the other players at the table and they want to have this role play where they're pulling your character in. It's no fun to have everybody at the table ready to go on an adventure and then one person who's like, my character doesn't want to go. And you're like, okay, well, you can stay here and we're all going to go, I guess. Make a character who is willing to go or is excited to go. They can be nervous, they can be tentative, they can be scared even. That can be part of their character and their personality, but make a character that's willing to do things with the other members of the party and is at least, you as the player need to find a way for that character to get involved in the story. Don't just be a stumbling block for the other people at the table. Make a character that wants to go out, wants to slay the dragon, wants to gather the gold, and wants to save the world. That's number 2. Number 3, give them flaws, bonds, and quirks. If you want a power game, if you want to min-max, that's fine, but also give your character something unique about them. Don't just make human fighter number 5. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But if you want to make something a little more dynamic, add some flaws. Maybe that fighter who is maxed out in strength is, all powerful, but he has, some kind of phobia. Maybe he's deathly afraid of heights, or he's, afraid of snakes, the Indiana Jones method, where he seems like a badass, but he is terrified of snakes. Something fun that gives you the opportunity to just explore that character a little deeper. Give them a bond. Maybe it's a deity, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's somebody else in the party who they feel bonded to and that they would give their life for. That can just really open up a lot of interesting moments within the story. So say they're bonded to the cleric in the party. That's like they have some kind of kinship. Maybe it's their brother or sister or whatever. And that character goes down. Your character is going to feel some kind of way about it, more so than, oh no, the cleric went down, blah, blah, blah. No, like that is someone that means something to you, to your character. And they're going to have way more of an emotion about it. Maybe instead of just keep fighting the enemy, they're going to run over, and even though they can't heal, they're going to pick up the downed cleric in their arms and do whatever they can, like start weeping. It creates interesting and fun moments within the story for your character to bounce off of. And give them like quirks. Maybe, every time they sit down to eat, they have a little ritual, or, they have like a tick, maybe like their eye twitches, something like that. Do fun things to give your character some personality. Just think about these things before you, jump into your first game. Sit down, look over your character sheet, and think, what would make this character a little more interesting? It doesn't have to be anything large or super dramatic. It can be just small little things that just mean the most. Or, give them something physically different. Maybe have them missing a couple fingers or a couple teeth, and that can lead into other characters having the opportunity to be like, how did you lose those teeth? And then you get to, explain to them that you were in a bar fight, you knocked an ogre out, but then his goblin companion jumped on the back of your head and threw a beer stein in your teeth and knocked him out. Whatever you want to make up, but it gives you something interesting to keep playing off of. And that's really what the game is about. Being creative, being fun, and giving yourself and others the opportunity to be creative together. And just giving those quirks, flaws, and bonds really does help. I know a lot of people skip over that stuff when they're character creating, but it really does help, and it makes it more fun in the game to have those in the back of your head to remember. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that can help you make a little bit more unique character next time you're rolling up those character sheets. Let me know in the comments what you think makes a great character. Do you agree with my list? Any other tips that you want to throw out there? I'd love to hear them. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.